You're listening to a Wales or Wales production.
You're also listening to Wales.
Visit walesorwales.com for more projects and shows like this one. Hello everyone, and welcome to Train Station at 8, a video game music podcast all about video game music, the podcast. I'm Steven, back once again with my loyal sidekick, Bryan.
I've been relegated to sidekick?
Yes, you've been demoted.
Oh my gosh, what did they do?
Well, it's just that calling you a sidekick makes me sound like a superhero, which adds some zest to the show's flavor.
Nice.
But hey, we have a friend along this time, as we normally do, and that friend happens to be Dustin Branscum, and you may know him a little better as DusK. Hello, Dustin, and welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
Yes, I agree. It is nice for you to be here. I've been wanting to have you on for quite a while. And so before we get into the meat of the show, maybe you could introduce yourself a little bit to our audience.
I'm DusK. I do video game music remixes. Anybody who's listening probably knows me from that. Mm-hmm. Done some work with Overclocked Remix, directed an album over there. I also do a little bit of Brony music on the side. That's where most of my YouTube followers come from.
Yeah, I saw that. That's kind of awesome. I'm actually a bit of a My Little Pony fan, or was, so I support that.
Yeah. Do a little freelance composition on the side, but mostly it's the video game remixing.
Yeah, and now correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to feel really dumb if I'm getting you mixed up with someone else. But don't you do Guild Wars 2 remixes for people's characters?
I do. It's not remixes, it's original tracks.
Original track. You compose theme songs for them, right?
Yeah, and I've done, I can't remembe. I think it's like something like 8 to 10 songs so far.
That's awesome.
For other people.
Is that just like a freebie? You do it when people ask, when you have time?
No, I have like a thread going on over at the official forums. People post their characters there, and then I will just choose the characters that I feel are the most interesting and something that I feel like I could work with as far as like a sort of gives me some ideas to like maybe compose for that sort of idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get you.
In so many words. And so I just pick the most interesting characters, and I surprise them with tracks. I'll just throw them on there whenever I feel like it.
That's a really cool idea. Bryan and I used to play World of Warcraft big time. We really cared about our characters.
Oh, yeah.
I would have killed, well, maybe not killed. I would have done some reprehensible deed. Okay, Bryan would have killed. I would have done something extreme to get a theme song written about some of those characters.
Oh, yeah. Me and my wife actually used to play World of Warcraft up until about 2009.
Oh, cool. So what, do you remember what expansion that was? 2009 would have been...
It was, I quit right before Cataclysm.
Yep. Okay, good time to get out.
Many others right around that period.
Yeah, and then I ended up, like, my wife didn't quit, so I bought Cataclysm for her, but I'm just like, this video just released. It's a skill trailer for Guild Wars 2, so I'm quitting World of Warcraft.
I remember that. I remember that. I actually got back into Guild Wars 2 recently, about a month ago, and I'm having a good time. I like that game a lot.
Yeah.
We did an episode about Guild Wars 2 a few weeks back with Syl. She's from another video game music podcast. So,
oh, right on.
Yeah. So that was fun times. All right, well, in that case, while we're already talking about it, let's talk about what we've been listening to recently.
Sure.
Bryan, how about you start?
Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that.
Whoa, plot twist.
So we're all good. So because we recorded an episode fairly recently, like not a whole week ago.
Yeah.
Because we've been trying to book up appointments, I didn't have a new video game album I've been listening to since then.
Okay.
I have listened to the first few tracks of another Ace Combat album.
Now remember, it doesn't have to be video game music. It can be anything.
I'm leading somewhere with this.
Okay.
Please. But yeah, I actually started into Ace Combat X2 Joint Assault for the PSP. But
how many Ace Combat games are there?
More than you would think. There are
Okay, so
lot.
DusK, you've been missing this, but for the past month or two, Bryan has been continuously listening to every single Ace Combat album he can find.
Well, that's good taste. I mean, that's...
Finally!
Finally. Oh, I agree. I'm just getting lost.
Yeah. So this one is the second game for the PSP. And it's okay, so the first one was like a super electronic soundtrack, except it had the Avengers theme song, basically. The same melody. So that was fun. This one's crazy because it's like orchestral and like feels fully orchestrated and crazy in a way that like no other Ace Combat games do. So I don't really know where this came from. It's completely out of left field, but it's fantastic. I'm going to send you a song, Steven, to play, because good luck actually knowing what song to choose, because all of the songs in the one rip I could find are named Ace Combat X2 Joint Assault. Every single track.
Oh, dear.
So I'll send you a really awesome one that you can play in.
Okay, great. It's probably playing right now. We just don't know it.
I'm going to listen to like 6 songs in that. So the real thing I've been actually listening to several times over recently is the new album out by Muse. And they are like a British, I believe, or at least UK.
They're British.
Yes. Okay, British. Cool. Electronic rock, band. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was thinking artist, composer. No, all those are wrong. Yeah.
I always describe them as they're that British brand. The singer has this crazy range.
Yep. That's why I like them. That guy is just, I really, really like hearing their singer. I like their they like to deal with incredibly heavy, topics, but in a very heavy-handed, almost dystopian kind of sci-fi sort of vibe to it. It's fun to listen to them. It's fun just partially because I feel it's thematically different than a lot of music out there, especially a lot of music that hits the top 10 charts and gets super popular. So they merge a lot of prog, rock, and dystopian elements with pop. So I really enjoy that. There's nothing subtle about drones. The cover art is like a hand that's obviously in a business suit holding a joystick that is revealed to actually be the head of a person in a white shirt sitting at a barren desk holding another joystick, which is controlling an army of people that are all goose marching or goose stepping. So it's not a subtle...
Gee, I wonder what that could mean.
I don't even want to see what it actually looks like. You just built it right there in my mind.
Right. So it's not subtle, but I kind of love it for that, and it's really fun, and just has a really different sense of melody that I'm really digging, and so many great guitar licks in it. So it's not my favorite of their albums, but it's been very fun and enjoyable listening for the past week or two, so... I reckon people check that out. It has an insane ending song, which is just the singer, but singing 10 different tracks of himself doing a choral kind of song.
Oh, weird.
To it. It's really crazy.
Muse is weird.
There's a lot of experimentation and fun in that album. So yeah, what about you, Steven?
Me? Well, I'm not going to say Sonic Runners again.
All right.
Although I have been listening to Sonic Runners on loop.
Cool.
I guess the game I have been listening to, I was going to say soundtrack, but game is more accurate. I've been listening to the Splatoon soundtrack as I play Splatoon.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
So, DusK, because you played Splatoon or just heard it?
I have been, Sweet Tooth style addicted to that game since it released.
That's great.
It's so hard for me to stop playing it whenever I get started.
See, that's the thing. It's I have a hard time sticking with online multiplayer games, but Splatoon is so inviting, it never makes you want to stop. There's never a point where Splatoon makes me angry except for when I get too many disconnects and then people, the teams are unbalanced. But as a game, as it's put together, it's lovely. It's wonderful.
Yes.
What's your weapon of choice, Dustin? Are you a roller guy?
Mine is actually the one of the Aerospray variants, the one that has the mine and the ink striker.
Okay, good. Yeah, I guess I've still been sticking to Splattershot. I'm not sure if there's one I like more than that type. I really got into the Zapper they released, though. They released DLC for the Zapper.
The Zapper is interesting, though. It feels like just a little bit more accurate than the Aerospray does. but I think it does like one shot, like it takes one more shot to kill, and I didn't really like that.
See, I get that. I'm not, I can't compare the weapons between, how many shots it takes to kill someone. I haven't gotten that into it yet. But what attracted me to that weapon was my strategy tends to be paint as much stuff as you can in the general vicinity, then use a power up that, boosts your speed when you're in squid mode.
Yeah.
And then get to the middle of the map before anyone else can. Find some kind of place to hole up in and just guard that area in the choke point and hope that brings my team to victory. So that's why I like being able to, take things out quickly.
Oh yeah, it's a good weapon for that. You got a decent amount of range with that too, so.
Yeah. Well, Splatoon is very fun and the music is, nuts.
Phenomenal. I love
it. I could just listen to the music that plays while you are, choosing your modes in the arena. Loop forever. The bow 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 bow
yeah.
bow bow.
My wife gets so mad at me whenever I'm shopping because she's like, "This is like the most annoying song in the game," and it's playing for forever.
But you get to switch versions of it as you switch shops.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love how dynamic that is. I'm actually planning on doing. I'm working on a remix of one of the fight music, the fight themes, the main theme for the game.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm working on a remix of it, and it's basically going to be like this sort of like rap rock kind of remix, and I'm working on it with another guy from OC Remix, Brother Dom.
Is this going to be the first OC Remix Splatoon out?
I have no idea, and it's only like, I want to say maybe 30% done.
Oh, no.
But for what I have, I mean, it sounds, I tried to really make it sound as fun as the game plays.
That sounds beautiful.
Okay. There are no Splatoon songs yet, so you still have time to be the first.
Yeah, I still have time.
Yeah.
Oh man, that makes me really excited. I love all the music in that game. I don't know if you follow Naganuma or the Jet Set Radio dude on Twitter, but he has been obsessed with Splatoon, and there have been a lot of people doing Splatoon Jet Set Radio crossovers. I can't remember who it was.
He's not so subtly telling Nintendo to hire him for.
Yeah, I know. Yes. And it really feels like, I mean, like I can see, because like both games really seem to have that same sort of vibe artistically.
Oh yeah, and they're basically both about graffiti when it all comes down to it.
Yeah, exactly. They are very similar. The big difference is the original Jet Set Radio turned me off because it really didn't play very well to me.
Yeah, I started with the second one though, so I kind of had that advantage.
Me too. That's why I just couldn't go back. But Splatoon,
like I bought the first one on Steam. It was like $5. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And it means just, wow, this hasn't really aged well.
Well, maybe this will tell you something about my irrational love for Sega. I played the original on the Dreamcast, didn't like it, and I still bought it on Steam for $5. I just wanted to own it.
I'll like it this time, I swear.
Someday I'll understand the concept of love.
Maybe one day.
And fly like a bulldog.
And fly like a butterfly.
Yes, precisely. So Splatoon is rad. Also been listening to Final Smash, which is the expansion to Harmony of Heroes.
I'm importing that into my library right now. I keep forgetting to.
Yeah, it's for those who aren't aware, Harmony of Heroes is a massive arrangement of all the various Nintendo franchises that appear in the Super Smash Bros. Series. There are 101 songs in that album. It's a monster album, and the expansion brings even more to the table, and it might be my favorite video game arrangement album of all time. And I've listened to a lot of albums. So there's some pretty serious competition out there, but it's very, very, very good. Especially if you just listen to one song, listen to the Punch-Out song. It has it has full vocals. It's like an 80s rock montage kind of thing. It's very good.
Fantastic.
That pretty much rounds out my listening habits, though. What about you, DusK?
As far as video game music, nothing really too new. I've gotten back onto a Metal Gear Rising Revengeance kick.
So what's the music like in that game? I don't really know.
That music is it's very rock focused. It's sort of like this crazy mix between rock and electronica. But a lot of it's vocal, and the way, I mean, first off, Jamie Christopherson is just amazing.
That's the name I couldn't think of. I knew.
And And the way he implemented it is so cool in the game. It's all very, very cinematic.
Yeah.
You have these massive boss fights that are just like multi-stage boss fights, and like I don't know if I can ever play a hack and slash game again where right before you get to like the final stage of killing the boss, like right before the boss is just gonna go all out, vocals kick in. I need that now.
I totally understand where you're coming from. I now need that too.
It just sounds so great the way they implemented it, and but the soundtrack itself is great. So I just keep coming back to it, even though it was released back in 2013.
That's really cool.
I've also been listening to a little bit of the remastered Final Fantasy X soundtrack, quite a bit.
Is that how does that differ from the original?
It's a lot. It's very, very similar to the original soundtrack, but they just kind of sort of
cleaned it up.
Use a lot of live instrumentation in it.
Oh, I see. Great.
Kind of. Some people don't like it. I do. They did like full out arrangements of some of the tracks. Like Besaid sounds quite a bit different in the new version. But I really like it.
Are you like a big Final Fantasy fan in general?
I mean, kinda. The ones that I've played, I like. But I've pretty much only played 7, 8, and 10 all the way through.
Okay. See,
10's my favorite one, but
okay, yeah, nice. And didn't they recently put out like a HD remake of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's where that soundtrack came from.
And that's the one you're talking about
for the game.
Great.
They did that, and they did 10-2. I never played through 10-2. Didn't really care.
Yeah.
But
understandable. It's a weird one.
Yeah, it was a little bit interesting. I can see the appeal of it. I just didn't get into it. Final Fantasy X though was just, I mean, it was amazing from start to finish for me.
Yeah, I've loved the music that I've heard from that game.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some arrangements. I've heard some originals. I actually, the only Final Fantasy game that I like is the first one.
Oh, really?
And I've played up to 6, so I haven't made it to the 3D era. I didn't grow up with it or anything, so I kind of had a detached viewpoint of the series. But the music is great. Mm-hmm. So I can't decide if I should make myself play through the games or just buy the soundtracks and just have it over with, because that's what I'm in it for.
Yeah.
But I don't know, they're remaking 7, so maybe that's where I should head next.
Yeah. Outside of that, as far as real, like non-video game remix or stuff is concerned, outside of that, my favorite band got back together and released another album.
Yeah.
Just because. Haste the Day, Coward, just released. So I've been listening to that a lot. And I've also been listening to quite a bit of, like, one of my friends introduced me to Tricot. There's a sort of like math rock band out of Japan.
Okay.
And they are so fun. So I've been on a pretty big Tricot kick recently.
Oh, neat.
That and Baby Metal. I got their recent album as well.
Wait, is Baby Metal a genre?
Baby Metal's a band. Basically, they combine like really, really heavy metal, like hardcore metal, with J-pop.
I think I need to hear this.
Yeah, it's so great. It's so fun, and it's just really, really fun music to listen to.
Okay, okay, I'm looking at some images of Baby Metal, and I'm really on board now. This looks ridiculous.
They're just so much fun.
That's cool.
Yep, I'm looking at images as well now.
Okay, I'm now watching a live concert performance of Gimme Chocolate. And this looks pretty good, Dustin. Yeah, I'm in for it.
It's really funny. That's a song that showed, like, that's the song where everybody kind of discovered Baby Metal here in the U.S. like recently. That's the first song that I heard. Pretty much every other song in the album, though, I like more than Gimme Chocolate.
Oh,
it's really
interesting.
nice.
So there's more to look forward to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, is that pretty much it, or is there anything else?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a lot of stuff that I'm going to have to write down and look up after the show's over. I love when that happens. Okay, well, in that case, I think we ought to move on to the open question, which is where we bring a topic to the table and discuss. And the one that I thought up this week is, what are some of your favorite character themes? And so if that's not already self-evident, it'd just be video game characters who have their own theme songs.
Cloud's theme from Final Fantasy VIII.
If Cloud has wait, I don't know if that makes any sense, Brian. You clearly...
I remember that one, yeah totally.
See, for a second I couldn't tell if you were right or not, because I don't know anything about Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Yeah. It was the one with the interesting little fluty bit. I remember that, yeah.
Exactly. It was great.
So, Brian, I'm gotta ask you a question.
Yes.
Did you do your homework and think about this before we came to the podcast?
Yep.
Oh, good. So what do you have to bring to the table?
Well, Steven, have you ever heard of a character named Knuckles?
Oh boy, have I. Knuckles the Echidna?
Have you ever heard of a game called Sonic Adventure?
I hear that Knuckles is hard as nails, and it ain't hard to tell that he breaks them down whether they're solid or frail.
Yeah.
This is one dark thing you need to learn about us, DusK. We know a lot about Sonic music. Like, a lot about it.
That's good. That's good.
My serious answer would be, I still absolutely love, and yes, this is my serious answer, Sonic's, It Doesn't Matter from the original Sonic Adventure. That's when I learned guitar, that was one of the very first songs I went to. It's like a song from my childhood. It's so fun. And weirdly enough, like, the lyrics and stuff capture Sonic's, like, philosophy in a deeper way than you think those games would go.
Yeah.
Like, he's thought about this stuff. Like, he's got his own way of looking at the world, even though it's
What I love about that song is the genre that it goes for.
Yeah.
Because despite it being this edgy new reboot of Sonic the Hedgehog in 1999, it goes for this... I mean, is it hair metal?
I wouldn't call that... I'm not sure.
Well, it feels... most of those soundtracks felt really, really punkish to me.
Yeah.
Like 90s punk. Like, not like early stuff, but like the later stuff. Like that sort of punk revival from the late 90s.
See, Sonic Adventure 2, the theme song for Sonic definitely had that vibe. I feel like Sonic Adventure 1 had more of an early 90s, 80s feel to it. Now, I'm really a novice when it comes to identifying, like, a rock or pop or punk time frame, but it had some sort of slower, older feel than I would expect. Totally not what you think the kids would be into, but they went for it.
Well, it wasn't. Sega didn't really have their finger on the pulse of the kids.
No.
And that's A-okay by me. Because I wasn't cool either. So it fit like a glove.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was big for me. I mean... I still go back to, I think they counted as character themes, honestly. I think Soul Calibur's stage themes, I would just always love how they would relate to the character who had that stage.
Yes, I agree with that one. Like, what about, actually, this reminds me. I wrote for a website called Critical Gamer for a while. It was a video game, kind of blog, website, news site sort of thing. And they let me do a feature called No Tune Unturned, where I would examine various tracks from video games, music tracks, and just kind of give a creative paragraph about each one. And it was a very, very fun feature to do. And I did one on In the Name of the Father, which was Nightmare's theme from the original Soul Calibur. DusK, are you into Soul Calibur? Have you ever played them?
I am. I played the first one though. Well, actually, I didn't play the first one. I played the second one.
Okay.
I started with the second one. I've never actually touched the first one ever. That was kind of before I was like really, really into VGM though. So
yeah. Well, Soul Calibur is a game that might get you into VGM. At least that was the case for me. I loved the first game quite a lot. And one of the things I loved about that series and its characters was how melodramatic everything was. Like, at the end of every match, you'd have the announcer say, "But the soul still burns!"
Yeah.
and I recently stumbled upon my old article, and I really, really like how I put this.
Okay.
Quote, if your very being does not yet overflow with Soul Calibur-esque hyperbolic monologue, consider 016, and that's, the time in the song, 016's rushing heartbeat of militaristic drums, as if the boy trapped underneath hellish armor remembers the father slain by his own malicious claw of impure power. A sense of desperation taints the wild symphonic strikes of 033, clashing like the evil blade of hatred wielded by one who has forsaken hope and named enmity his lover. Waves of unfettered pain take the form of impetuous choirs to crash against the shores of memory, suppressed by the sting of malfeasance, leading to 114's inevitable thundering, pounding drums of destiny. And that was my paragraph for that particular track. Which I think describes it very well.
Or you could just say, hey, it sounds good.
Yeah, it's real good.
Well, that's when my editor came into play. Unfortunately, he encouraged all of this. So, anyway. So, Bryan, I agree. Soul Calibur has good character themes.
For sure. Yeah, I could go on for a while, just listing different games that I've enjoyed the character themes in, but I think Sonic and Soul Calibur were kind of the two that stuck out for me growing up of like, this is so cool how much work they're doing into adding a lot of music that really brings to life this colorful cast. What about you, DusK? Is there anything that stuck out to you over the years?
As far as character themes go, I always find myself looking to JRPGs for like really, really memorable character themes. Games from the Final Fantasy series, like every character theme from 10, it just really stuck out as far as it just in music form defined those characters so well.
Yes.
But there's also, the Kingdom Hearts series as well.
So do they like write themes for existing characters in that?
Not so much existing characters.
Okay.
But like a lot of the original characters that they put in, Sora, Riku, Kairi,
Gotcha.
all those characters, they get their own themes, and they're melodic, they're memorable, and they're just a lot of fun. Outside of that, fighting games are also.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, Soul Calibur is just one, but
it's just one. But like as far as like I think really the first game that I played that really got me thinking about the very idea of a character theme was Tekken 3.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How so?
With all like because that was another instance of each theme really, really fitting the character. But there were just so many of them.
Oh, and so did every single character get his or her own
Every
theme?
Single character in the console version got their own theme, even the secret characters.
Okay, see
they got their own fight theme.
I just love if a game is setting up its characters to each have their own musical like genre or musical like I guess theme is the word I'm looking for. I'm just suddenly interested in playing as all those characters and thinking about them more often.
I think it's really important, especially for a genre like fighting games, where especially if you're playing it in versus, you get very little explicit storytelling about any of the characters. Yeah. So the more they can like kind of insinuate and imply about the characters through the stage design, their character design, their voice acting, and most importantly the music, like that's going to get so much like emotion down that you're not going to get through a traditional like storyline. Not to mention they can just play it on loop. Like it doesn't feel out of place to just play a theme song, a very melodic song to fight to. So it like works really well in that genre.
Yeah, it's so important because usually the story is just beat 8 guys and then a boss.
Yeah, right.
Totally. Yeah.
Maybe revenge is involved.
And also it's so important to like feel a connection to your character and be really excited to play.
Oh yeah.
So the more they can like get a little theme song to get stuck in your head that like defines that character, it just gets you so much more pumped to play that really larger than life character.
And kind of sorry to interrupt you, Bryan.
It's fine.
But I had a thought.
I was done.
Kind of like an MMO will do with their race themes to an extent. You can't.
I thought for a second you meant like there are racing mini games.
Some of them probably.
I get where you're going.
But you can't get a character theme because there are millions of characters that people create. But let's say I'm playing as a dwarf in World of Warcraft. I will connect the somber sadness of Dun Morot's snowy fields with the history of my character. When Ironforge great crashing MIDI horns as the kind of the noble, adventurous, ironworking kingdom that I live in. And that's kind of like the character in that sense is like an entire race or an entire country.
Yeah. Jeremy Soule actually did a really good job of conveying that in Guild Wars 2 soundtrack as well. He actually wrote a track, a theme song for each race.
We covered
for the soundtrack.
I think we covered what are they called? They're like the Norns, something like that. And
I love that too because like each race has like, I mean, there's a distinct melody to each theme, and all throughout the soundtrack, that melody it just keeps coming back. I mean, the Char have like 3 different themes, and they keep showing up in the game, and it just feels really cool whenever those themes show up again.
It just shows that the developers.
I really hope there's like some song that like has all of the races uniting to fight some crazy end boss dragon, and like somehow weaves all of the themes into one.
That would be so cool.
That would be so cool.
That would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It just shows how the people behind the game are thinking about it and connecting the dots. It just makes you respect them more.
Mega Man has a lot of character themes.
You know what? I never really considered that, but you're right. Woodman has a rad theme. I've always wanted to hear a hip hop version of that.
Bubble Man.
Yeah, another good one.
I could just
you could just go on for the rest of the podcast. Oh, well, that is a standout. But speaking kind of the connecting dots, one more theme I wanted to mention.
Metal Man.
Okay, Bryan, do it quietly in the corner so I can make
this
my
for
point.
a while.
One theme I wanted to mention was the theme of Bastila Shan from Knights of the Old Republic.
You're not the theme of Carthonasi?
No.
Not a fan of that one?
No, not so much. Let's stick to Bastila. I love Knights of the Old Republic, especially the first one. I think it's a wonderful game. And my favorite...
Star Wars is a very thematic soundtrack.
It really is. And KOTOR went out on a limb to make its own side of Star Wars, its own little world. They didn't just reuse the music from the movies.
No, they got Jeremy Soule.
You're right, another Jeremy Soule project. But one of the rare times that they did incorporate movie music was with Bastila's theme. It's a very quiet and mysterious piece, and about a minute in, you get the theme of the Force, which is that do-do-do-do-do-do little sting.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing that for the first time and feeling like, this really is Star Wars. And the things she's talking about have to do with the characters we know from the movies. It's just this is thousands of years ago with different people dealing with the same issues. And that was one of my favorite character theme moments, because she was obviously one of the major Jedi, perhaps the major Jedi of the plot. So, yeah, that's one of mine.
Big fan of that one as well.
Indeed. Well, I think that ought to cover it for the open question, because we have to get a move on.
Yes, sir.
But I did want to mention a couple of very quick news items.
Sure.
Oops. Sorry, I just swallowed an ice cube.
You were drinking a glass of water. Our news item number 1.
I'm choking on the ice for my water. I apologize. But more exciting news from the city is, do you like the Legend of Zelda music? This is an open forum.
I've actually on and off been listening to the Symphony album that came with the Skyward Sword 25th anniversary set.
That's awesome. So I'm going to put that down as a yes, you like Zelda music.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean,
do you guys
it's
like...
easy to say you like Zelda music, partially because it's great, so I'm going to go ahead and say I like Zelda music.
Okay, good. But here's...
I don't think every Zelda soundtrack is awesome. Skyward Sword is kind of okay.
Okay, but in general,
Zelda music is
you
good.
like it? All right. What about Celtic music? Do you like that?
I love that.
Good.
Yes.
Because Emer Noon is it Emer Noon or Emer Noon? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her name, but she is back again with a Kickstarter called Songs of Zelda, A Link to the Celts.
Okay.
And it is, from the few snippets she has shared, it is glorious. She found this traditional Irish, I don't know what you call them, a collection, not a band, like a symphonic collection of people who stick to those roots, very closely. And she loved them so much in their Zelda arrangements that she wants to put out a CD, with their music. And it's wonderful. I recommend going there and listening to a little bit of it. I love Celtic music.
What's this called?
It's called Songs of Zelda, A Link to the Celts. So look that up. They have the Kickstarter video up right now. The Kickstarter's still going on. I definitely give it a look. Give it a listen. Emer?
Yeah.
Oh.
According to her.
Okay. She's probably...
I have a pretty good source.
I don't know. Maybe we should get some more information before we lock it down.
She could be wrong.
I wonder if she knows which video game Cloud Strife is from. We're still trying to figure that one out. But it definitely stood out to me, even among other video game music Kickstarters. So that's one of my news pieces. My other one is just yelling the name Yoko Shimomura because she's doing cool stuff. She's scoring the recently announced Kingdom Hearts 3 and the recently announced Mario and Luigi, the new Mario and Luigi RPG Paper Jam. She's scored both of those series in the past, and luckily she's back again to do really cool stuff.
She's also doing Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, good point. That's true. Mm-hmm. So she's busy.
Yeah.
Busy with some awesome game soundtracks.
And it makes me very excited that she's finally doing a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be interesting.
I just can't wait to see what she does with it. All of it.
Yeah. I'm mostly familiar originally with her music from the Mario and Luigi games. So it makes me happy to know she's coming back for that and also doing new stuff. But that...
Oh, yeah. I loved her work in Mario and Luigi for sure.
Oh, yes. Indeed. But that wraps it up for news from the city. It's a quick one because we're on a bit of a time limit tonight. And I want to make sure we have time for...
Train Your Brain!
The official Train Station at 8 quiz show. So, DusK, the way this works is we are going to play you snippets of video game music, 10 seconds in length each. And you, and with the help of Bryan, are going to try to identify where they come from. If you can guess the game, the exact song, the composer, all these will give you various bonus points that we don't really bother scoring.
Okay.
But the theme for this episode is Genesis music. Or Mega Drive.
Oh, you picked the best theme.
I do my research. So I don't know if this is going to be super easy or a little challenging for you, but we'll give it a shot. So you ready to go?
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
Oh yeah, I know everything about Genesis music so long as it was included in Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection.
Okay. Well, most soundtracks were. So
excellent.
Yeah, I had Sega Channel, so
good.
So I've played a lot of Genesis games.
All right. Well, you've probably played this one then, which is...
Pretty sure that's Ristar.
That's Ristar. It's like the music level.
You got it. You are 100% correct. It's called On Parade from, the level where everyone's going around and singing. It's a wonderful little world.
Huzzah.
All right, good job. So far, 100% correct. What about question number 2?
Oh man, you probably picked like the one that I'm not gonna know because
that is a Golden Axe game.
I know it sounded very Golden Axe-y. It was probably in one of the later levels of one of the earlier games. Probably Golden Axe, either 1 or 2.
I'm gonna guess
it doesn't really
2.
sound like 3.
I think 2.
Okay, final answer to Golden Axe 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right, it is Golden Axe 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's from the Ruins stage, which I think is maybe 2 or 3 levels in.
We played way too much of that statement.
Oh my god.
That game did not merit how much we played.
Staying up late, kicking skeletons, some of my fondest video game memories.
Oh, Golden Axe.
Speaking of some of my fondest video game memories, question number 3.
Oh. It's Shinobi Walks from...
Yeah, this is, that is from, the third game, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's the Shinobi Walk.
You even knew the title, Bryan. Good job. It is Shinobi Walk. Okay.
A walk.
Yeah, nice. All right, how about this one then?
Test 1, 2.
Oh, that's Comic Zone.
Oh, you're too good. Should have made these harder.
I'm happy these are all in Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection so far.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I know you guys are going to get this one, but let's get it out of the way.
That's Carnival Night.
Wait, we got to get
Sonic
a good part.
3.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good job. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game had a really unique soundtrack. Like, it was going kind of wacky.
Yeah, it was crazy. Okay, so you guys are destroying this quiz so far.
5 out of 6, right? So far?
Well, I think you collectively got all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
DusK did miss that one Golden Axe one until you reminded him of the series. Final question.
Oh, that's Gunstar Heroes. Come on, I'll remix this up.
Gunstar Heroes.
You guys did it. You nailed it. All right. I should have made that way harder. I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, that was all.
So I have a question. If I had chosen Gain Ground, would you have identified it?
Yes.
Gain Ground.
Gain Ground.
From,
it was one of the first 2 songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's curious. A really hard game.
I was really tempted to go with that one. All right. Well, good job, DusK. I think you have set the new high score for Train Your Brain.
Yeah.
Considering I didn't even get into 3 seconds from some of those songs. So
yeah, most of them were just like, yep. If it was Phantasy Star anything, I would have been completely lost.
Oh, that's probably true. That is probably true. All right. Well, good work. Genesis music is really fun to listen to. It has such a cool sound. It did some weird stuff that I appreciate. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Train Station at 8. It was a fun one, and DusK, we thank you for coming on board with us.
Oh yeah, anytime.
Cool, because we'll probably ask you again at some point. And Bryan, thanks for co-hosting again.
You're welcome.
Or sidekicking, if
You're
prefer.
welcome.
And if you want to learn more about Whales or Whales, which is the network Train Station at 8 sits under, you can go to whalesorwhales.com. If you want to be introduced to a little podcast that we have going, called the Whales or Whales podcast, now might be a good time to get in, because on the last episode, only Bryan and I were there instead of the rest of our zany compatriots. So if you want to ease yourself into that ridiculous podcast, that's a good way to start. You can also email us, send us Twitter messages, whatever, just get in touch. We're at trainstation at 8, at Gmail, Twitter, Facebook, that sort of thing. How about you, DusK? Do you have anything to plug?
I don't really have any projects really on the horizon right now. I kind of have an open schedule because I have a full-time job now. But I mean, if you're out there, just keep an eye on my YouTube. Every now and then I do a video game remix. Every now and then I cover a song about small Technicolor horses.
Good. Those are the 2 things I look for.
Yeah. And
you do have that OC Remix project you said you were working on. Is it going to be OC Remix? What were we talking about before? Now I just put myself on the spot. We were talking about you were going to remix a game that we got super excited about.
Splatoon?
Oh yeah.
Splatoon.
That's Splatoon remix. It's just one song.
Yeah.
I'm doing stuff like that all the time, so
okay, cool.
Just keep an eye out on it for it. That one in particular should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it at any rate. All right, cool. And I guess that means we'll get out of here. So everyone, thanks for listening very much.
You're welcome.
I was addressing the audience at that point, Bryan. Don't break the fourth wall. Thank you everyone out there for listening. If you have any suggestions or if you want to be on the show, just get in touch. We want to hear from you. That would be great. And then until next time, go listen to Sonic Runners some more. It's the best soundtrack of the year.